Electric hydrofoils, or eFoils in short, are taking over the world of water sports. And today we meet Jake, who's going to share with us his honest, unbiased review of a new eFoil from getfoil.com.
Hi Jake, and welcome to our show. I'm very excited and thank you so much for joining me today. I've been trying to find the foil and the real users of this new eFoil for a while now, but it's really hard for me because so far they only sell in the United States. So obviously you are a real live user, you're not affiliated with this company, so you just made an honest and biased review. That's why I'm very interested to hear your opinion of this product, your first impressions so far. Let's also cover the features, the differences with other eFoils, and also what you liked about this product and what you didn't like. So,
no, totally, yeah.
So what's your experience with eFoils and how did you get into eFoiling?
Yeah, first of all, thanks, Mike. I actually, before I got into eFoiling, I was kind of looking into eFoils, and I ran across, the Jet Surfing Nation YouTube channel. So I think you had like a comparison between like 3 or 4 different eFoils, and so I was watching that, and good to talk to you in person and everything. Yeah, how did I get into eFoiling? I always saw eFoils, and I thought they looked super fun, looked super cool. I've done a ton of like wakeboarding, wake surfing, so mostly like kind of tow behind boat type of water sports, and always loved it. Wanted to get something that was kind of self-powered. eFoiling always looked super fun. So I rented an eFoil a couple different times in Hawaii and California, and just absolutely loved it. I rented Lift. Every time I rented, it was a Lift eFoil, and I've only been on the V2 of the Lift eFoil as well. So really loved it. Had a ton of fun. Saw that foil was kind of doing its thing. I put down a reservation, I don't know, a year ago or so, and then when it came time to pre-order, I kind of took a chance a little bit, right? And decided to try it out, and it's been great. I've loved it. So I don't know, I can go over just kind of like the general features, or if you have any specific questions, would love to do that. But
yeah, there are a lot of differences of this eFoil compared to other eFoils so far, and I think it's one of the most advanced eFoils on the market. There are no data cables, there are no cooling cables, and it's very streamlined and it's a well-designed product. So what were your first impressions? I know you used it for several weeks now. Let me know, what do you think so far? Especially compared to Leaf.
Yeah, no, totally. So I've taken it out probably 10-ish times now. It's starting to get a little bit cold where I live, so it's kind of a little bit at the end of the season, but I'm hoping to drive. There's a place just a few hours drive away from me that is a little warmer, so I'm hoping to do that hopefully next weekend. But yeah, I've taken it out about 10 times. I've really loved it. When I first took it out, I was really surprised because the wing and the size of the board and everything, and the power of the propeller, it was way more sensitive than the Lift V2 that I had previously been on. To the point where I could get up on the Lift, pretty comfortably. I've, done it a couple times. Whereas on this, like I could not get up until about my second time out, right? Just because it was just like very sensitive. And I ended up really liking the feel of it. It's very, once you're used to it, right? I mean, it can carve really well. I keep saying the word sensitive, but yeah, it really is very dynamic feeling. So yeah, so I think it's more aggressive, I think, than the Lift that I was on. I know that obviously, the different wing choices and the length of the board is going to affect that a lot. And I'm not some eFoiling expert to where, I could say, oh, if I had this wing, this would have felt like this, right? But I will say the feel of the board has been really good. The build quality of the board as well has been really phenomenal. It's built really well. There's absolutely no bend or flex anywhere in the board. The whole thing's carbon fiber. I think they do also make a fiberglass version. That'll, I think, save you like $400 or something like that. But this is the carbon fiber one. It's the paint job also is really good. I've really liked the board. So the controller is really well designed. I really like this controller. It looks nice. It has a full LCD screen. Let me see. I'll pull that back. Has a full LCD screen. Looks like it's booting up right now. Trigger feels really good. Button waterproof. Obviously comes with this little strap. The only thing I don't like about the controller is there's 2 things, and that is, number 1, the controller itself doesn't float. And so they do include this, right, which it'll float with this, but the Lift controller obviously is going to float. So I think that could be something that's a little bit improved on. The other thing I liked more about the lift controller is the ability to limit your speed. On this controller, obviously you can limit your speed by not depressing the trigger all the way, but there's not a built-in way to have like a speed limiter on it. So, and when you're learning, especially, that's super helpful. I really liked having that on the lift, and especially if you're like showing it to somebody else, or if you're, letting somebody else ride it or anything like that, super helpful to have the speed limiter on there. But other than that, it has a GPS built in, so it'll show you your GPS speed while you're going, which is really nice. They are working on an app as well to kind of track all your rides and stuff like that. I don't think that's out quite yet, but that should be pretty cool. And then the other thing that I'd say about this is the connection to the battery and to the eFoil has been rock solid. Like, I have not had a single dropout. I probably have 10 hours, maybe 15 hours on the eFoil by now, and it's been rock solid. So I've been really pretty impressed by that. I think it looks really nice. The attention to detail is really nice. The little displays are well thought out. And then the other thing that's great as well is it's fully rechargeable. And so it has a little battery indicator up there. The battery, I've never even seen it get beneath full. Even after like 2 hours of, going on the eFoil, it's still full. So the battery life seems to be fine. But the nice thing, and I'll show you this as well. I'll grab the battery. This thing is heavy, by the way, but it really just really nicely magnetically attaches, and then it'll wirelessly charge. So very satisfying magnetic connection there. And then it'll just start wirelessly charging, which is super great, super convenient. So you just, when you're done riding, put it on there, and then you just never have to worry about it being charged. So that is one feature about the controller and the eFoil itself that I really like. You talked about kind of that one connection. So this is the connector right here. Let's see if we can get that in focus. So it is just this one connection. So this battery is like ludicrously heavy, by the way. So this battery does have all the electronics of the eFoil are in this one battery. All the wireless stuff for the controller, the battery management system, all the batteries are in here, the motor controller, right? And so it literally is just this one connection. And so you just put that on there, twist it on, and you're ready to go. There's no other connections to make, anything like that. I actually put a little Apple AirTag on the battery as well. So that's not part of it. That's just what I put on there, just in case. So I think you probably saw this on that Facebook group, but I did lose a battery. It was stolen. I didn't lose it, but I had a previous foil battery stolen from me, and the owner of Foil was super kind. They ended up sending me a new battery, so I went way above and beyond there. I was super appreciative of that. So yeah, I will say another thing I really like about the foil itself is just kind of the general build quality. I think it looks super good. It's built super well, very little flex, pure carbon fiber. I love the way that the mast looks here. This is like the exposed carbon fiber mast. The paint job as well is excellent, matches the controller perfectly. So yeah, I've really liked it. And then obviously the other thing to note that's noteworthy of the foil is the price, right? It's $4 to $5 grand cheaper. And especially, I know that the Lift V3, you can get some of these features like the rechargeable controller with the color screen, the LCD screen and all that. But that starts adding to the price, even more there, right? So, and then I'd say another thing is it's very powerful. It's almost a little bit too powerful. Like you squeeze that trigger and this thing goes. The current version with the foil that's included and with that propeller will go about 28 miles per hour is what they said. I've never taken mine that fast because, when you get that fast, right, it's just like, it starts feeling, a little bit sketchy, right? And so I'm not quite good enough to go that fast yet. But I think they're working on another foil and another propeller as well that'll be able to take it, even faster, right? Obviously, the speed's gonna be really dependent on the foil and the propeller design. So
And I heard they're also going to design the high aspect ratio wings. I saw the post Kyle made. I hope in
Yep.
2022 they're going to
Yeah, I saw that
introduce
too.
new kind of wings. And maybe also the smaller shape of the board, because this one, to be honest, is quite big. What do you think of the size? It's really...
I will say it's very big. It's bigger than the lift I rode, and once there's a smaller board available, I think I will probably get a smaller board, just because it's a little bit inconvenient to take it places. The ride is great, especially for the size of the board. It doesn't feel super big, but just carrying it around, it's big, and you can feel. I mean, I'll just lift it to demonstrate, right? Like, lift this thing up. Oh, yeah, it's like, I mean, it's big, right? Like, and it's not easy to carry. That's another con of the board. There's no handles, right? And so if you're carrying it, you're doing something like this. Yeah, it's very large. Let me put it back down. Big. So
I was a little bit surprised they forgot to put the handles on the side of the board.
yes, that's what it feels like. I mean, I really would prefer handles on the board. I also, one other thing that I'd like, just features of the board, is having some type of tether on the back for a leash. I know a lot of people don't like to use leashes, but when you're first doing it, it's pretty helpful if you're falling off all the time, right? So that would have been nice to have, especially the first couple times I went out. I was like, man, I wish there's a place to put a leash on here, because I just got tired of swimming after the board. But once you're a little bit better at not falling off, it's not as big of an issue. So
I saw some other users were using the suction handles, so maybe something like that.
I did see that. I actually ordered some. I haven't tried it yet, but I did order some off of Amazon. So we'll see how those work. I actually have a suction thing for the back of it as well, for the leash. So I'm not sure exactly how well that'll work. I haven't been out since I received those, but I am kind of excited to see if that works well. So I'm a little worried about the handles. Hopefully it stays on really well. But some of these suction cups are really strong, so it'll probably be fine.
Yeah, personally I always use the leash when I go out, especially in the swell. You really don't want to lose the board.
Totally. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and I actually have a leash that I was able to kind of clip to the back of the board underneath the I guess the flap of the board, right? The main battery compartment. And I was able to kind of clip it in there, and it was thin enough I could still shut it all the way. So that kind of worked, but yeah, it'd be nice if there was a built-in attachment point for sure. So
Yeah, but also we need to say it's a first generation board, so a lot of improvements are going to come probably next year. They're going to learn from mistakes, from the first users' feedback. Also, guys like you are going to really help to improve it.
yeah, totally. And it sound the CEO Kyle of Foil, he's been super active and responsive on kind of like that Foil Facebook group, and so that's been really good to see. He's kind of been posting about some of the improvements they've been making. It sounds like with the smaller boards as well. I'm not sure if this is confirmed or if they're actually going to do this or not, but he was saying that they're looking into adding handles to it. So that would be great as well. And another reason that I might upgrade to this smaller board, right? Just for the handles. So kind of funny.
Let's show
go
it a
ahead.
bit closer, using your second camera, just to show some features a little bit closer. What's inside the hatch? Can you open the hatch?
Yeah, totally. Let me open it up here. So there's these two latches here. I think I have some things in. Yeah, it's a little dirty in there right now. Have some. These are some screws and a screwdriver, but. So this is that single connector right here. And so there's just a bunch of like data pins and some of the power pins in there. So that just screws right on to the battery. Pretty simple. Pin numbers in here. Yeah, probably need to clean it out, but the latches themselves are pretty nice. I was a little worried because they're plastic, but they seem extremely strong. They might be metal inside and just coated. I'm not really sure, but they feel really good. I'll just show you too, kind of a perspective here. Here's the propeller here, and there's the foil. This is the kind of default foil that comes with the foil right now. I know they're working on more, so. I will say one other thing that I've noticed is that this paint can be pretty easy to chip. So I mean, to be fair, I kind of rubbed this on asphalt by accident. It didn't fall, but it kind of scraped just a little bit as I was carrying it. So I know that they have touch-up kits that I don't know if the foil doesn't make them, but you can buy touch-up kits with the paint color on there. And so I was looking, I'm gonna try to do that just so we can touch up some of these little spots in here. But overall, the paint is nice and looks pretty good. So, any other features that you wanted to see, Mike? I can show more on the battery or the controller or something, but.
No, I think it's okay here. You can show without the camera with your phone, little bit of the remote and the battery.
Totally. Yeah, the remote's right here. I love the design of the remote. It feels good in the hand. Trigger feels nice. I will say one other thing too. I would replace this. This can clip off a little bit too easily. And so it's possible that this comes off. And then, and then you might lose it, right? So I'm trying to catch the controller here. So I'm gonna buy a new strap here, just one that can't clip off. And then the battery, let's do a quick shot of that. Battery looks like that. Super heavy. This is, there's two different battery sizes. There's a 40 amp hour and a 50 amp hour. The 40 amp hour, you'll get about 1.5 hours of ride time. And with the 50 amp hour battery, you'll get about 2 hours of ride time. So I think it's a $400 upgrade to get the 50 amp hour battery. 15 miles per hour, 16, 18.
So let's summarize quickly what you liked about it and what you didn't like about it, and just to wrap it up, your final impressions, your final words about this product.
Totally. Yeah, what I liked about it, the design is great. The build quality is really good. It's excellent. The reliability of the controller and the battery and everything like that is really good. The attention to detail too, and just kind of like trying to make everything a little bit simpler. Everything from like magnetically docking to recharge this to just having one thing that you plug into the battery and that does everything. It's fantastic. I really like the power. It's very powerful. I've really also liked kind of the support and the responsiveness of the company. They've done a really good job at doing good customer service and support. And then of course the price, right? Like, you're going to save $4,000 to $5,000 versus a lift. And, in my opinion, you're not giving up a ton to do that necessarily. Now, some of the cons, I will say the battery connector, it's great having only one. It's a little bit finicky to connect though, especially if it's like in the water, right? If you're trying to launch from a dock or something like that, it can be a little bit like if you're like leaning over, you have to get it really straight, perfectly on there in order for it to work. So that's one quick little con. I talked a little bit about the speed controller or speed limiter on the controller. I do wish it had that. The controller also not floating, I think, is a decently sized con. No handles on the board. Wish there was handles on the board. And then I will say too, the motor sound is a little louder than a lift. It's not loud, but you can hear it a little bit more than you can on a lift, where it's a little bit more silent. So that might be something that they'd look to improve. And then I think the final con is, it's an early company, right? Like they haven't made a ton of boards yet. And they're still kind of learning as they go. And so there's been a couple of bugs that they've had. They had some bugs with especially the battery chargers. So they've had to issue some like updates to them. As far as I can tell, it's only been software bugs at this point. And so, they've been pretty proactive at getting those fixed, right? So, but that is, it can be annoying if you're trying to charge your battery. Like when I first got my battery, trying to charge it, it wouldn't charge, right? And so it would charge, but it would only charge like about halfway. So then we put an update on it, and then that did fix it. So anyways, there's been some different just kind of software bugs and growing pains from the company itself. I think they've done a pretty good job at sorting it out, and I think that they're moving fast, and long term they're going to be in a good spot to be able to really innovate in the game and continue to support these boards and kind of maintain the quality that they're going after. So but I do like as well that it's an American based company, right? Like they're investing a lot into their own R&D. This isn't something that is kind of like made overseas in China or somewhere like that, and then just kind of you don't really know who to contact for support or anything like that. So
yeah, it's a really good point, and I think it's one of the most promising features in after-sales service, because we see with other companies that we don't want to name here, you can never reach them, they never answer the phone, you can email them, then you wait 3 weeks, you get no response. So it's really a hassle, and if the product is so expensive like this, you really expect a good quality customer service.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and that is the reason. That's the reason I was looking at all the other ones, right? Not to name any names, way to, right? But you know that can be. It's a little bit of a concern, right? So for me, investing in like an American company, right? That's based here somewhere that I can call them if I need support, right? And send them an email. They'll get back to me in like an hour versus a couple weeks. That was a big part of the consideration for me for such an expensive product, like you said, right?
Exactly. All right, it's really promising, and I'm looking forward to see the new features that Kyle and his team is going to introduce next season. I'm going to see the smaller board, maybe new wings, maybe longer mast. Let's see, and hopefully the handles.
Yeah, hopefully the handles. That's right. Yeah, I'm super excited. Do you know when they're starting to ship internationally?
I don't know, but I'm looking forward to try it myself in future as well.
Yeah, can't wait to see what you think about it.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Jake, for your time spending with us today. I hope your experience will be helpful for others. I know a lot of people are looking forward to see your experience and your review. So thank you so much for doing this.
No, appreciate it, Mike. Have a good one.
Yeah.
Good to talk to you.
Cheers.
Okay, cheers. Thanks. Bye-bye.